The late afternoon sun casts long skeletal shadows across a sparsely furnished apartment. Leo sits slumped on his sofa, the blue light of his phone illuminating a face etched with a quiet, weary sadness. His thumb moves in a lazy, aimless scroll through an endless feed of curated happiness, each post a stark contrast to the hollow ache in his chest. Suddenly, the screen brightens with an incoming notification. A familiar name, one he hasn't seen in 2 years, flashes above a message icon. Alex. A cold shock jolts through him, his heart seizing in his chest. Alex is dead. Leo's eyes, once listless, are now wide with a mixture of disbelief and a primal, creeping fear. The phone feels unnaturally heavy in his hand, a conduit to something impossible. His hand trembles as it hovers over the screen, his thumb hesitating just above the notification. A war rages within him, the desperate, illogical hope of hearing his friend again versus the paralyzing terror of what that could possibly mean. With a choked breath, he taps the message. It's a voice note. A pulsating sound wave animates on the screen, a visual heartbeat of the spectral message now playing. He raises the phone to his ear. The audio is a storm of static, but underneath it, a voice, Alex's voice, emerges, distorted and broken. Leo's face twists in a mask of pure horror. He scrambles backward on the sofa, his eyes darting wildly around the room, half expecting to see a figure emerge from the deepening shadows. His mind is flooded with a staccato of nightmarish images, a dark shape looming in the hallway, the unnerving flicker of a lamp, and a sudden sharp memory of Alex's laughter, now twisted into something menacing. A frantic energy seizes him. He lunges to his feet, a captive in his own home, driven by a desperate need to secure his reality. He races through the apartment, his hands slapping against the locks on the front door, his eyes scanning the windows that look out onto the darkening city. His gaze falls on a framed photo on his bookshelf. The two of them, smiling, arms slung over each other's shoulders on a sun-drenched beach. The happy memory is now tainted, the photo casting a long, ominous shadow across the wall, a monument to a bond now desecrated. The distorted voice from the message echoes in the silence of his mind, the static slowly peeling away, the words becoming clearer, more deliberate, and infinitely more sinister. The apartment seems to shrink around him, the shadows stretching and coalescing, the air growing thick and suffocatingly cold. He plays the message again, his ear pressed so tightly to the phone it hurts. This time he forces himself to listen past the terror, to dissect the sound. Beneath Alex's garbled words and the crackling static, he hears it, a faint rhythmic dripping, a sound he knows. A flashback hits him with the force of a physical blow, the two of them as teenagers, exploring the abandoned water treatment plant at the edge of town, the constant echoing drip from a broken pipe their only companion in the cavernous dark space. A specific phrase from the message finally cuts through the noise. I'm still waiting. As the last word hangs in the air, the main circuit breaker in the apartment trips with a loud, violent crack, plunging him into absolute darkness. In the sudden, oppressive silence, a faint whisper, impossibly close, brushes against his ear. Leo. Paralyzing fear roots him to the spot, his breath caught in his throat. The voice message begins to play again on its own, a looping torment of static and spectral whispers filling the pitch-black room. The phone, still clutched in his white-knuckled grip, is the only source of light, its screen a solitary beacon in an ocean of encroaching dread. The final shot lingers on Leo, utterly alone, his eyes wide with a terror that has now taken permanent residence within him. The apartment is no longer his home. It is a tomb, haunted by a presence that has crossed the boundary of death. The sound of a slow, deliberate dripping begins to echo from the corner of the room as the screen fades to black.